I don't mark the day on a calendar, but I remember it by the smell of dust and metal. We were stationed far from anything permanent, a temporary base that felt like it might disappear if no one was paying attention. Everything was borrowed. Every routine felt provisional. I'd been on watch since before sunrise. The air was cool enough to forget where we were, and for a moment, I imagined I was somewhere ordinary, guarding a quiet warehouse or an empty parking lot. Then the radio crackled, and reality snapped back into place. What stayed with me most wasn't the action, but the anticipation. Hours of scanning the same stretch of land, learning its shape so well that any change felt personal. A rock, out of place. A new line where there hadn't been one before. You train yourself to notice without staring, to stay alert without exhausting yourself. Midday brought heat and stillness. Conversations were brief, practical. Water checks, equipment checks. A few dry jokes that only made sense to us. We were different people than we had been months earlier, quieter, more economical with our words. Not because we'd lost ourselves, but because we had learned what mattered. In the afternoon, a situation developed. Nothing dramatic enough for stories, but enough to demand our full attention. Orders came through. Positions were adjusted. Plans reviewed one last time. I remember thinking how calm everyone sounded. Not fearless. Controlled. That distinction mattered. When it was over, the tension drained out of my shoulders all at once. I sat down and realized how long I had been standing completely still. My legs trembled slightly. Not from fear, but from release. One of the older soldiers saw me and just handed me a bottle of water. No words exchanged. That small gesture meant more than any speech ever could. That evening, as the light faded, I watched the horizon turn a deep orange. The base looked almost peaceful, like a place that was meant to exist. And I thought about how strange it is that moments of clarity often arrive after the pressure, not during Italiano. I understood something that day. Service isn't just about the loud moments people imagine. It's defined by patience, by repetition, by the quiet commitment to show up prepared, again and again. You learn to carry responsibility without ceremony, and to measure success by what doesn't happen. When my watch ended, I lay down and listened to the familiar sounds. Boots on gravel. Distant engines. The low murmur of voices. I felt grounded, not because the world was safe, but because I knew my place in it. And that knowledge, hard-earned and understated, was enough. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.